Hello and welcome. It is Friday. It is 8 p.m. CET and it is the 1st of March 2024. Welcome to March. Finally, let's just take a deep breath. Focusing on the core of our being, the center of our physicality. This may be the solar plexus. This may be your lungs or your heart area. This may be even your thymus or your throat, because many of us, we do have a voice, even though we may feel right now we're not able to voice much with words. However, we are here. That is part of our being, part of our consciousness. And we voice through our connectedness with our inner self and being present wherever we find ourselves. And the breath is, in a way, the vehicle of our human beingness in this now moment. And then focusing on our breath, it is what we share with all beings here on earth, in this life, in this moment. And many of us have come here simply to be part of the peace that is our birthright. In fact, there is nothing more unlike than conflicts. Humans can communicate, and humans have compassion, and humans like to share, like to support others, like to be. And many have come into this life to emit that compassion and being that peace, whatever we've been through, whatever our ancestors been through, whatever is presenting itself, and whatever the reasons may be. In this moment, we are here, and with this, we share the quest for manifesting and embodying the peace that we carry inside us for eons. It is so natural to call it our origin, call it our breath, call it our beingness, call it our DNA. Despite all the histories that lie before us, the recent ones, despite all the suffering that our ancestors survived through, otherwise we wouldn't be here. We believe, we trust, and we are peace. I'm being given the name Peace Ambassadors. This is not about being small. This is not about necessarily to join any group and demonstrate, even though you could. Your life is the embodiment of peace, the embodiment of compassion, and the embodiment of what humanity and humanness stands for. And yes, I totally agree with the statement that it's physically demanding to be here in this now moment and to embody all that is changing, all that is coming in, all that wants to be embodied, wants to be manifested, wants to be expressed through each of us in our own way. And I'm being nudged to just share that creativity. That is any form of your art, singing, dancing, painting, drawing, making music, or creating a project. Maybe um, yeah, there's not really a word for it. Maybe a new form. Excuse me, there is some clearing here from what is understood as a business, a project, and really done for representing a fair, holistic, supportive structure, and any line that needs upgrading. You can start with what do we drink, what do we eat, what clothes we dress, how do we heat our homes, to the quality of the water, the air, the food, the fabric, and the working conditions. Basically, it's an ongoing list. I'm being asked to share that the old restrictions of those that could have made a difference because they had the cloud, there may be board patterns or patterns and kept them away. This is over. Basically, the word new greens with that one means basically from the grassroots up. And it doesn't matter if the inspiration is as a 6-year-old or a 14-year-old or a student or, well, the grandparents who want to have and leave a brighter future. It doesn't matter. What clearly is happening that those that require support and any form of resources will find those that have the ideas. It will be much easier because really money has never been the issue on earth. It's just that the ethics, the shadiness of information, the not being honest about so many things, because really everything belongs to us. Yeah, it's our forests in the sense of we can care for them. We can make sure that animals and plants thrive. We buy the food, so we can make sure we buy them from local, regional, holistic and ethical and true biodynamic without genetic modified things, without pesticides, without animal species haven't been misused and so on. There are so many ideas floating around from so many people have ideas and this wave cannot be stopped. So under the umbrella of all these new ways of, let's call it integrative, considerate projects, It is totally clear that the right to live in a peaceful world where it is normal behavior to kindly respect the other so nobody gets bullied from neighbors. Because humans think they can cut down trees, but that's their right. This kind of energy. Nature is so strong, it'll always survive. It is us we wish to have. Those moments that we can see in some films, or if we wish to have this natural lushness, the colorful beingness, it is us who need to ask, how can we be our best peaceful self within our own skin towards ourselves, in connection to our soul being? How do we behave towards the animals we share our life with? How do we behave towards all the elements that are in our home? How do we behave towards the human beings in our life? And how do we utilize what is around us, and where do we spend the money, and what kind of technology do we want? Let's make peace, and let's integrate those things that we love into our life. So today it is actually our heart we are focusing on. Today the peace circle is around our heart, and with this is not just the physical heart. It is the entire spectrum of the heart chakram, but in the sense of the heart sphere, which is multidimensional. It's a rainbow colored multifluorescent. Actually, it's not just a circle. there are many circles creating a sphere around this layer, which is multidimensional within our bodily existence, and it looks a bit like this idea of swirling rings within rings in all directions. And yeah, it's actually, in fact, it looks like a solar system. It looks like the elliptic, yeah, so multi-layered light bodies around that central sun that is our heart. Okay, it seems that our bodies are just being reformed, so literally metamorphosed, and mm, this may be the reason why many of us feel so tired and exhausted and have to rest. It is almost like open heart surgery, just on an energetic level, that we are being, yeah, it's like we're growing a new energetic heart area. Mm. It has self-healing mechanisms put in, and it is totally based on peace, and it is like an energetic armor in as such that nothing can penetrate it. Anything that is of a lower energy doesn't even go there. It gets bounced off. So that may cause a ripple when we go somewhere. And in fact, it goes into same swing in motion with the heart spaces, let's say, of our pets or our plants. So our whole home starts to echo the, yeah, this kind of let's call it electric light sphere. It's new electrics, so nothing to do with the old. It is almost like a hard implant, and as such that this new energetic peace-based core gets created like a peace sphere around our body's core. And when it is in place, there's this automatic upgrade happening that the old hard peace sphere is integrated. All these ions and atoms and whatever are integrated and upgraded. Why upgraded? Because there is just more light, and because of this new type of light, it is it has a different, it's not a resonance, it's not a frequency, it's because it's not a wave, it's a pulse. So it's a little bit like you have a million glowworms, so dots that glow in all multicolored fluorescent rainbow colors, mainly sort of metallic rainbow pleasant colors, different whites, different coppers, very high. So most of them are just really so bright you can almost not see the color. Okay, some would call that the diamond sun body. This is different though because it is coming in. It's like around the chest cavity, let's call it, which is the yeah, it's a good question why it is around the heart area. Okay, because it represents the cosmos. That's the answer. So all we need to do is rest and breathe and trust. And so it is understandable. Okay, the metaphor I'm being given is it's like opening a bottle of champagne and these special bubbles discharge. So even though you see sparks, the actual energy is in that bubble that where you can't see any sparks. It's that it's nothingness that is getting animated. So to remind us then that March, the month March, has a relationship to the Mar, to the ocean. And in a way, these bubbles, sparkles, yeah, it's this new form of mm, plasma water light. It's really difficult to find a word for it. So this is how our lungs and our blood is getting more vital force. Part of it is oxygen, but oxygen isn't the main component. It is a life force. Let's just call it that way. And it has changed to what was before. And it has the focus of absolute inner peace. Even if there's frustration, even if there's boredom, even if there seems to be so much non-action, even if there are old things, sort of same old, get the letter, pay the bill, blah, blah, and don't agree with it, but can't do anything about it, blah, blah. And this old, stagnant, patriarchal language of intimidation and this focus on the money. This is really like so gone. As the new generation comes from generate, so the new way of generating health, wealth in the sense of connections, creativity, and resources, but really it is about ideas and creativity, meaning creativity is the embodiment and the manifestation of ideas. And there's a lot of champagne bubbles. It's like almost the ocean is having this wave pattern, and it looks like shampoo bubbles, but in this case it is actually a new, it's like a tonic for all our waters on earth, inclusive of us. It seems to be that with the water plasma and the new light, this is maybe why we had so much cloud cover in the last 2 months. It's been just, maybe it's been 5 months, but it's been all of this year, apart from maybe a couple of days, where it's just been this blanket cover. So maybe this is why our bodies needed to rest and may need to rest a bit more. There seems to be an entire new spectrum of elements, mosaics, building blocks, new forms of energy, new forms of electricity, new forms of, it's not just the mitochondria, it's actually in the cell membrane of each cellular structure. And it's absolutely a wrong way of dividing cells into a certain definition, because they're going to be just multitasking ones, and they can just create. So basically it's a self-healing mechanism that the body is able to reproduce. So really we should be able to heal a lot of the genetics and the inherited conditions and things like reactions to medication and whatever we were given as kids. So all that stuff that may have distorted and all that things that we may have had in our family line expressed in physical conditions. So with this we can, I'm being shown a certain shape, and I don't know how to call that. It's got many, 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 many faces. and there are like they look like a mirror, but they're not. Mm. I suppose the nearest would be if you have the various way one could cut diamonds, but this one is like, and these kind of cells are mm, para, parabolic or something, meaning it's something to do with the reflection of light of the various planes that are part of these particular cellular structures, and with that they can, because it's to do with the hologram, it's to do with the fractal idea, but this is a different, this is not like the two plane fractal, this is like has many planes, and so the way that light is reflected, each cellular structure is able to heal itself because of this shape. It can energetically make up that missing bit, and then it can be recreated. So it's something that is stored in the cells, but it has to do with the fact that it's really difficult to explain. This has not been here. We may have been aware of it in ancient times, certainly long ago, before these last 2 or 2.5 astrological cycles, so 4 to 5,000 years of patriarchy. Before that, before the whole war scenario, and why? Well, the thing is that no, I'm not being given the reasons and the in and the outs today, why and how it got preserved, or how it was able to be brought here or held here. It's not so important. So what is important is that this kind of swinging wave, let's call it that way, this kind of produces peace automatically, because things that are of a lower intent, that intend to harm, they just have a different structure, and they'll just break apart, because let's call it like this, the inner chemical or anatomical spectrum skeleton is too weak. These new structures have such a high precise swing sound, sound lines somehow to it that, yeah, peace is inevitable. Oof, I didn't think I was going to go that way. I just really, this is how it is. This is quite immense work, particularly on the heart space. Let's just breathe into the heart space and focus on that healing area around our heart space, our core body. Bang our energy bodies for coming forward, for our physical bodies to cope with it, as well as our emotional and entire nervous system to hold this. So it is then confirmed that we are doing a lot of internal body work whilst we are supposedly doing nothing and resting. Let's just focus on our breath in our own rhythm. This creates very strong heart centers. That it enables us to express our truth, to be able to voice our voice. And there's a strong force of, yeah, compassion for all. Nobody is below anybody, and nobody needs to explain or fight or be apologetic for whatever beingness they choose. Yeah, it is a birthright in peace. There seems to be like a golden flowers whose petals are made up of heart shape, golden heart shape type petals, and nobody can destroy them. Okay, let's extend that peace circle around our home, the homes of all our loved ones, all their projects, all their places they spend a lot of time, and all around our pets, any animals that come forward. All plants we share our life with, and we can also visualize this healing circle all around Earth and the multiverse. So as we breathe the peace of our eternal hearts, trusting full well that peace is the base of all living consciousness on all planets, but in particular here on Earth in this now moment. And so it is. Thank you. Please, when you come out of this meditation, deeply ground yourself and maybe have somebody to focus on meeting anybody, lying, sitting, being grounded. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for caring. Thank you. This is Blue from Blue. Thank you.